Hey guys, it's the Loud Guys. Today we are going to watch Southern comfort foods that you need to try before you die. So another thing that we need to add before we die. So yes, we will eat those foods. But yes, like she has been to Miami and which other place?
Orlando.
So she has been to South. So have you tried any of these? Oh, we have not even watched the videos.
Exactly.
How can But have you tried some delicious food? And do you feel like South food is like wow?
So I am someone. I'm not. I would want to experiment. But I've had guacamole a lot.
Okay.
Because avocado is famous there. I mean, it's very much available. In India, it's not that available and it's very expensive. So here I've not had it, but I just, whatever I wanted to do, I just did 100% of it there in USA. And I'm more into healthy foods and healthy stuff and vegan because again, I'm a pure vegetarian. He is a pure vegetarian.
But still, vegan is boring.
But what the thing was that I wanted to be sure, and people in USA don't understand what is vegetarian. So they understand vegan. So at least I'm safe that okay, whatever it is not animal derived.
So this is a problem that many Indians face, that when they go to places like US and all, like if we say we are vegetarian, then they would still serve us eggs. Because in many places that eggs are vegetarian, but in India it is not. When it means vegetarian, it means like completely only foods and all, or you can add milk products. But yes,
so there are so many different words. No, there is vegetarian, wherein you can eat egg but nothing else that is derived from animals. Then milk is also there, but that's different from being non-vegetarian. So there are a lot of things in India. People are lactose intolerant, so they don't have milk also. So the options and the choices become lesser and lesser. But I want to see what all do they need us to try, because I just know that this particular picture is non-vegetarian, I feel. So I have to be very careful whenever I travel, wherever I'm. So there was this instant when I was in Greece, I have a Ukrainian friend, she was also there, and we ordered some 2-3 things. And the guy, the one who took our order, he did some goof up, and I got the chicken one, and she got the vegetarian one. And
I liked it.
No, so I was just taking a bite, and then she was like, "There's something different about this," and I was like, "Wait," and then I opened it, and it was chicken, and then we called the staff, and he's like, "Yeah, this is chicken, and this is vegetarian." So I was like, "Are you crazy? Can't you see?" And she also scolded him a lot. But I don't scold people as such, so I didn't say much. But
you should have at least tasted it.
Really? No, please.
I also feel like if the comfort foods are so good, even if it is non-vegetarian, then I might try it once or twice. Like, why not? Like, you could have given it a try, because like my ancestors did that a lot. Our ancestors they used to eat animals. So why not like keep the love of our ancestors?
I have my ethics too much on steaks. So.
Yeah, same here. I am too like pakka vegetarian, but yes.
What is pakka vegetarian?
Like, okay, I only eat veg food only. But yes, sometimes, till now I have not done it, but yes, if there is something that is very delicious and my friend is blabbering about it, then why not? I should ask my friend to pass me something.
I think they'll become your friend. Mashed will become your friend, because they're going to recommend a lot of food like that.
Yes, so let's see what are the southern comfort food that we need to try.
If you've ever lived in the American South, you'll know that the food down there has its own unique identity, and it's absolutely delicious too. If you haven't tried these, well, bless your heart. These are the Southern comfort foods you absolutely need to try. One of the most popular dishes to have come out of New Orleans are beignets. These airy treats are made with usually square pieces of yeast dough that are fried in hot oil until they puff up. They're then generously dusted with powdered sugar and eaten straight away, preferably accompanied by a mug of café au lait. Arguably the best place to enjoy a beignet is in New Orleans, preferably at the Café du Monde in the city's French Quarter. But if getting around is proving a little difficult right now, then you're in luck, because they're not difficult to make at home either. Just make sure to turn them often in the oil, and be careful not to overcook them.
These are samosas.
Biscuits and gravy is a hearty breakfast dish that you'll find in restaurants and homes across the South. The soft, flaky biscuits are smothered in white gravy, which is made from pork sausage drippings, milk, and flour. The gravy is seasoned with black pepper and typically includes pieces of the breakfast sausage too, making it even more flavorful. The good news is that sausage gravy is easy to make at home, and there are plenty of different recipes available online. Failing that, you could pick up some of the ready-mix packets at the grocery store, although you'll really want to try the homemade stuff at least once. As for the biscuits, if making them from scratch just isn't feasible, the Pillsbury ones you pop open and bake will work just fine. Just don't let a Southerner catch you taking those shortcuts.
This looks yum.
Okay, so boiled peanuts sound kind of bland compared to
Boiled
roasted
peanuts.
But don't judge a book by its cover. These are actually really good. They're made by taking raw peanuts and boiling them for hours in salty water over a fire until the shells turn soggy. These peanuts are then sold at roadside stands all over the South,
You can eat
where
this.
residents and tourists alike enjoy them, often with bottles of Coke or sweet tea.
I should have
For what it's
watched.
worth, it's usually best to munch on boiled peanuts outdoors,
like
so you can
snacks.
easily spit
Yeah.
out their soggy shells, because it's nearly impossible to crack them open with your hands. Of course, some people opt to eat these peanuts whole, shells and all, but that's one heck of an acquired taste. Okay. For centuries, people have been making use of their stale bread by creating their own kinds of bread pudding, often made
so
with bread,
yummy.
cream,
What a
eggs,
dessert.
sugar, spices, and raisins. Modern bread pudding is the heartiest of comfort foods and should do wonders for warming you up on a cold and dreary day.
Yeah, I
So
need
how
that.
do you make bread pudding even better?
Yeah.
Just add bourbon. In the South, people often add a few dashes of bourbon to a number of different recipes, and bread pudding is one of them.
This
The
is so
bourbon combines with the
delicious.
cream and sugar to create a thick, warm sauce that is drizzled over the warm bread pudding right before serving. Brunswick stew is a hearty tomato-based stew that's
Brunswick
hugely
stew.
popular in the South. It typically features lima beans, corn, and other vegetables, along with some sort of meat. The base
Where
includes
do we get
barbecue sauce
this?
and a little hot sauce for some heat too. Early versions of the stew use squirrel meat, but if you're not brave enough to keep it authentic,
Squirrel
you
meat.
can always substitute the squirrel with rabbit, chicken, or just about anything else.
we
Virginians
ask
claim
for
the stew originated in
recommendations?
their Brunswick
We can
County,
go for
while
paneer.
Georgians will tell you it was
Yeah.
first made in the city of Brunswick,
Evergreen.
Georgia.
Yeah.
Wherever it came from, however, it's a truly delicious comfort food that'll easily take the chill out of a wintry
Wow.
day. Grab some cornbread, or a
Yum.
loaf of any crusty bread for that matter, to sop up all the southern goodness. Fried catfish is a simple dish that's available at
Fried
most restaurants that
catfish.
serve fish in the South. And the good news is that catfish is pretty good for you, since it's high in omega-3 fatty acids
Oh, it's
and
a
low in
fish.
mercury. If you can't find it at a restaurant near you, however, your grocery store may offer farmed catfish, which is also typically clean and nutritious. Catfish is easy enough to prepare. Dip it in milk, dredge it in seasoned cornmeal, and fry it in hot oil. It only takes a few minutes to get it golden brown on the outside and beautifully flaky on the inside. Add a squirt of lemon and a side of rice, then start chowing down.
It
Pure
looks
bliss.
yum, no?
For a truly comforting meal, there's nothing like a bowl of chicken and dumplings. If you aren't in the South, where you can find them at most sit-down restaurants, you can try making these at home by dropping biscuit dough into cooking soup. And though they aren't difficult to make, dumplings are a kind of art form, and they can take some time to
this looks
perfect. You don't
something-
want your dumplings
something like you can
undercooked and
find
wet
in
inside,
Northeast
but you
India.
also
Yeah.
don't want them so overcooked that they start falling apart in the broth. Stick them with a toothpick, and if it comes out clean, you're good to go. Chicken fried steak, sometimes called country fried steak,
Fried
is
steak.
made from a tenderized cube steak which is battered like fried chicken, pan-fried and topped with white gravy. While you can find chicken fried steak in an array of southern states, it's most closely associated with Texas. And as with most things, it's always bigger in Texas too. In fact, at
Everything is
Lulu's
bigger in
Cafe in
Texas.
San Antonio, you can find a 21-ounce version of this dish. And it's not a coincidence that
21.
Lulu's is also home to the famous 3-pound cinnamon roll too. That's just how they roll down there, as it were. For your next Super Bowl party,
Pink.
why not forego the wings and serve up a batch
Chicken
of southern fried
gizzards.
chicken gizzards instead? Believe it or not, your guests might thank you for it. Okay, so you probably don't want to think too much about what a gizzard is, but that'll be easy enough to do once you realize how good it tastes. You can cook
Poor
gizzards in a
thing.
number of ways, but it's best to boil them first and then coat them before deep frying.
Okay.
Throw in a little hot sauce, and soon you won't be able to get enough of these tender little morsels. Chicken
This
pot
looks
pie
like
is an
veg-
iconic
veg
southern
65.
comfort food
Yes.
that, when done right, simply
Chicken
can't be
pot pie.
beaten. And done right doesn't mean grabbing a pie from your grocer's freezer section. A flaky golden brown homemade crust is essential for this southern specialty. Inside, the chicken needs to be moist and plentiful. The vegetables must be neither too firm nor too mushy, and
this
the
can be
gravy
easily
creamy but not
replaced by
creamy.
paneer.
Is it a challenge to find a good chicken pot pie?
Still
Yes,
it is
but
very
it
yum.
really is worth it. And if you don't trust restaurants to get it right, you could always experiment with different recipes at home. It might take some time to perfect, but once you
Pie.
land on just the right method, you'll never want to cook
Paneer
anything
pie.
else. Ambrosia didn't actually originate in the South,
Ambrosia
but you'll still
salad.
find it at plenty of southern potlucks. This variety of fruit
Corn
salad
salad.
typically contains mandarin oranges, mini marshmallows,
Yeah.
pineapple chunks, and shredded coconut mixed with some sort of dairy
I think so.
ingredient.
I would
think
not
that's
like
Some
had
this
people
it.
use
one.
mayonnaise,
I've
while
had
others
it.
use cream cheese, plain
But it's
yogurt, or
really
whipped
nice.
cream. You might also
don't
find
think
some
so. I will
potluckers
like
add in
this.
bananas, cherries, and nuts too. Because why the heck not, right? Think of it like a
Yeah.
banana split without the ice cream. And then maybe throw in some ice cream anyway. If you live north of the Mason-Dixon line, you've probably
Chitlins.
never experienced chitlins before, and you are most definitely missing out. Chitlins are made from the large intestines of a hog, and they need to be carefully cleaned and prepared before cooking. for
Large
obvious reasons.
intestines of
Typically,
a
the
hog.
intestines are soaked in baking soda and water, rinsed several times, turned inside out, and cleaned by hand before being boiled for several hours. And just in case you're doing this at home, be warned. Chitlins smell truly disgusting while they are boiling, so put some onion and lemon in the water to tone down the odor. After they are boiled, batter and deep fry them. Then serve them up with a little hot sauce.
Oh my god.
Though Pennsylvania has its own version of chow chow, it's actually completely different from the southern variety. In the South, chow chow is a cabbage-based type of pickled relish that incorporates onions, peppers, tomatoes, and a whole lot of seaseaning. This stuff is often used as a topping for hot dogs and hamburgers, but you could also use it to top your cornbread, fish cakes, beans, and even your mashed potatoes. In fact, you can put it on just about anything. It'll taste great no matter what. Collard greens are a leafy green vegetable, not completely unlike turnip or mustard greens, and are most often associated with soul food. They can be bitter and tough if not cooked properly. But if they're done right, then they'll make the perfect side dish to any southern meal. After washing them well, chop the leaves into inch-long pieces, then simmer them in water. People often throw a ham bone into the pot, along with garlic and onion for a little extra flavor. But one of the best additions to collard greens has got to be bacon. You can never go wrong with bacon. Red-eye gravy is made with the grease and drippings of pan-fried ham and black coffee.
Hungry.
And yeah, okay, that might sound kind of gross, but this stuff really is amazing. The coffee is first used to deglaze the pan, but is then combined with the grease on a 1-to-1 ratio, resulting in a highly unusual yet genuinely delicious gravy. You can pour the simple gravy over your ham, potatoes, rice, or grits, but many folk choose to simply sop it up with biscuits.
I'm going to bake this now.
Crawfish, crayfish, crawdads, or mudbugs, whatever you call them in your neck of the woods, these freshwater crustaceans are some of the tastiest seafood out there. Of course, you can eat crawfish meat dipped in drawn butter, just like you would with lobster. But if you ever find yourself in the Cajun areas of Louisiana, do yourself a favor and seek out crawfish etouffee. This is when crawfish meat in a spicy roux is poured over rice for an amazing dish with a seriously deep flavor. As simple as it sounds, you don't want to make fried chicken and waffles at home. Instead, hop on over to one of the South's many awesome waffle establishments or diners, the places that really get it right. If you haven't experienced chicken and waffles before, it might seem like an unusual combination, but it really does work. Crispy on the outside and juicy on the inside, perfectly seasoned fried chicken makes a heavenly partner for a plate of buttery waffles. This is also an incredibly versatile dish and should work great for breakfast, lunch, dinner, or a late night snack. Fried green tomatoes is a simple southern side dish that packs a big punch. The key when making fried green tomatoes is to avoid them turning into a soft, soggy mess. Check your unripened tomatoes are suitably firm, then cut them into 3/8 to half-inch slices, and soak them for an hour in a mixture of buttermilk and hot sauce. Dredge the tomatoes in a combination of cornmeal and cornstarch, then fry them in bacon grease over medium-high heat until they're crispy on the outside. But be careful not to overcook them. You can dip them in just about anything. But a remoulade with mayo, hot sauce, horseradish, and Cajun spices would be the ultimate authentic accompaniment.
I miss the smell of coffee. And bacon frying. Oh, what I wouldn't give for a plate of fried green tomatoes.
If you're looking for something a little out of the ordinary to fill you up, consider jambalaya, a favorite in Louisiana. Jambalaya is a mix of sausage, chicken, seafood, and vegetables, cooked in the same pot with rice and stock. Creole jambalaya contains tomatoes, while the Cajun version does not. Both, of course, are extremely tasty.
Jambalaya.
In Cajun jambalaya, in rural Louisiana, you might also find a variety of game meats used, as well as alligator, crayfish, and even turtle. All Southerners know that everything's better when you fry it, and okra is no exception. To make these golden nuggets of veggie goodness for yourself, slice your okra, dip it in buttermilk, and then coat it in cornmeal and season before deep frying. The best thing here is that okra is seriously good for you, since it's low in calories and contains a great deal of fiber, potassium, calcium, and vitamins. The hot brown sandwich originated at the restaurant in the Brown Hotel in Louisville, Kentucky in the 1920s, and it's still served there today. The hot brown is traditionally an open-faced turkey sandwich with tomatoes, covered in Mornay sauce, which is baked, topped with bacon, and then broiled. Some people say it was originally created with peaches rather than tomatoes. Others swear it's a great hangover cure. Pretty much everyone agrees, however, that it's a genuine, bona fide, once-in-a-lifetime sandwich. If you've ever eaten at Long John Silver's, you'll probably have their hush puppies.
It's a brand, no?
But the ones you can get at a southern restaurant or fish fry are a heck of a lot better than the Long John variety. Hush puppies are basically balls of fried cornmeal batter that are often served alongside fried fish or shrimp. Though hush puppies aren't exactly complex, they're kind of like potato chips, and that it's virtually impossible to eat just one. Southern pecan pie made with a splash of high-quality bourbon is hard to beat. If you don't have a restaurant in your area that makes a killer pecan pie though, it's not too difficult to make at home. However, you'll want to experiment with the amounts of corn syrup, brown sugar, and bourbon you're using until you find just the right combination. And sure, you might end up having to bake a load of pies to get it right, but who's gonna complain about that? If you aren't from the South, then there's a chance you aren't too familiar with pimento cheese.
No, we are not
Basically,
familiar.
pimento cheese is a mixture of cheese mixed with mayo and pimento peppers.
Okay.
It can be spread on crackers, stuffed into celery, and scooped onto chips. Some people add it to scrambled eggs or grits, while others use it as a relish for brats, burgers, and hot dogs. In Louisiana, they spice it up by adding hot sauce or cayenne pepper into the mix. But the possibilities for pimento cheese are endless, and once you start incorporating it into your recipes, you're never going to want to stop. Pot liquor is the liquid that's left behind after you
Pot
boil
liquor.
green
Pot
vegetables.
liquor.
So what do you do with it other than pour it down the sink? Well, some people save pot liquor and use it in place of stock in their next stew or soup, while others pour it over rice or potatoes.
This is
But
like
the
Indian
best thing
mom.
to do with pot
Yes.
liquor is drink it. It might seem a little odd,
She
but
does
that
all
way
this
you can reap
creative
all
work.
the nutrients that have boiled out of the greens. Red beans and rice is a staple dish in Louisiana Creole cuisine.
This is-
Traditionally,
yeah,
families
Drolet.
take ham hocks,
Yeah, Rajma
bones,
chawal.
vegetables, and beans that were left
This
over
is
from
from
Sunday
India.
dinner and use them to create a scrumptious dish of spicy beans that were served with rice the next
know,
day.
you eat this in
Cayenne
India.
pepper, Tabasco sauce, and
Every
other
day.
seasonings
Wow.
can turn up the heat on this hearty meal.
We will love
While
it.
some people like to add in sausage or other meats.
not this,
Here's a tip
not
though.
this.
If you boil bones to make a broth for the base, you'll get exactly the flavor you want without having to add anything else. Gumbo is sometimes confused with jambalaya, but it's
Gumbo.
not the same thing at all.
Jambalaya,
The key
gumbo.
difference is that with jambalaya, the rice is cooked with the rest of the ingredients. With gumbo, however, the rice is cooked separately. Gumbo is a stew created with a strong, robust stock, sausage, shrimp, other shellfish, and the holy trinity of vegetables: bell peppers, celery, and onions. The most important aspect of home cooking of great gumbo is perfecting the roux that's used as its base. Or you could just head down to New Orleans and get someone to make it for you. Your call.
Sure.
Where's my mac and cheese?
Everyone knows that real macaroni and cheese doesn't come out of a box, nor does it come with a packet of powdered cheese. Real good old-fashioned Southern mac and
Yum.
cheese is a completely separate dish altogether. It's often created with the combination of cheeses, and you can use anything from smoked cheddar and Monterey Jack to Gruyere and Velveeta. Southern recipes usually feature heavy whipping cream, evaporated milk, or both. And the dish is baked in the oven until the sauce is creamy and the top is crispy. No matter
So
how much you
creamy
love
inside.
macaroni and cheese, you've never really tried it until you've had it in the South. You might have seen sweet potato casserole at Thanksgiving dinner and passed it by, but it's time to stop sleeping on this delicious dish. Though some folks love it topped with charred marshmallows, others prefer a
looks like
topping made with brown
honeycomb.
sugar and pecans. Give it a go, and you'll soon realize that this often overlooked Thanksgiving side dish deserves a place on your dinner table all through the year.
So this was an amazing video. I myself have been to the south of USA, but I still didn't have any idea that all these dishes I've missed out on. And there were some of them which I really liked, like the one with pecan pie, you know. So in India there's a lot of walnut, and as an alternative or as a, you know, brother like thing, so India has walnut, but USA has pecan instead of walnut. And many people have allergies to pecan, so just like how people have allergies in India. But I know there's one thing, in USA people are very much allergic to a lot of things, especially when it comes to food. People are really allergic. But in India there's nothing, you know. In USA you will find it on the packets that this contains this. So if you're allergic, you do not need to eat this. But in India, no one cares, and there is a very few percentage of people who are allergic to something. I mean, it's not a point of topic to discussed or talked about with the weight stuff for anyone.
Less money, less problems.
Okay, we can say that. And one thing, wherever there was baking, there was sweet dishes happening, I was all over it because I'm a full-fledged baker. In lockdown, I had my own home bakery, for your information.
Oh wow.
But then I don't know, life just got busy, and I didn't get the time to cook, and somehow I lost the motivation. But after watching this video, I'm really going to go home and bake something right away.
Yeah, so someday I'm expecting to get a very
Brownies.
good brownie or a pie from her, and I'll tell you how it tasted and how good it is.
Yes, please. And it'll be good, don't worry.
Yeah, and the other thing was like this video like gave me so much hunger because I am like very much hungry. And the thing is, everything was so delicious because like the mac and cheese and
Yes.
everything was very well
They
made.
were showing it in such a way that anyone would want to eat.
And even the narrator was saying like many people in America would have tried these or the other thing, but they said you should come and try it in South itself.
Yes.
Because like even in India also, like we try dosa here. So dosa is normally South India's dish. So they say that if you want to try real dosas, you have to try it in South India only.
India itself.
And that is the case place, like the more south you go, the better the dosas are. Because like when you go to places like Goa, and I tried, there was a green dosa there that was so delicious that you cannot have it
Really?
in Surat. Yes, it was so delicious. So that, and even my friends that go to Andhra and all the South Indian places, they say that okay, those dosas and those rice are the best.
And
So,
by the way, the rice and what do you call them?
Rajma chawal.
We call it here. What do they call it?
They call it, I think so, black pea or
Black
something.
beans.
Haan,
Black beans and the rice. So this is our staple food in India. We have it every other day, especially in the north.
Yeah, that is called Rajma chawal, and you should try that in India,
Especially
not in South
India, because
America.
we have a lot of spices. You guys should actually come down to India and try all of our spices. You will fall in love.
Yes, and I think so that is very well known to all Americans, that
Yes.
how much spicy food we eat and how much spices that we have. So yes, this was a very good foodie video, but yes, there was a lot of that was the best one where they make it out of large intestines. Awesome.
Oh,
And the
God.
way I was seeing it, I was like, what are you showing me? But yes, this is the world we live in. We eat intestines. Like I was seeing some Americans talk about like Chinese people eating bats and all this. Like, you are not far away. Like yeah, because Chinese people eat bats and all these things, weird things. But yes, we are also not that much far away. So what do you guys think about it? Do let us know in the comment section below. So do like, share, and
Subscribe.
bye.